Hi guys, Captain today we're gonna talk about an anime I watched. The anime I watched in question was The Rising of the Shield Hero Episode 1 and 2. I will do a review of both of them today. They're pretty short, but I'm like, yes, yes. Seriously. This episode is a breath of fresh air. Sorry, my throat again. Just 1 second. There we go. It's a breath of fresh air. And I decided to the occasion because the Shield Hero, he has a green cape in the show. So I decided, why not this? Why not my green cape from Attack on Titan? I've not used it a while, but it looks pretty nice and it fits pretty well. And I decided to have a white shirt on it. It fit more with the green standing out. Anyway, so we begin with the episode with our main protagonist, Naofumi, living his normal day in Japan, going out of his room. He has a dream sequence in the beginning where he dreams and he is basically in that other world of the Rising of the Shield era. And he meets a little girl that looks like half a girl, half some creature. A pretty cute creature, nonetheless, though. And then he wakes up, he's like, holy shit, what was that dream? And then he's like, he's gonna go out, he decides, you know what, I'm gonna go to the library to do something. And I actually forgot about this mention when I watched it again. I remembered that when he passed by his room, he said, oh, my little brother. And it's actually interesting. I hope we meet his little brother later on or more mentions of him. Because I didn't know the main protagonist was an older brother. And I myself am the youngest one in the family, if I say so myself. Anyway, so his little brother is basically an otaku like him, but for different reasons. Because think about it. He's the older brother, he has expectation in the family, and his parents is basically, nope, no expectation for this guy, I suppose. So yeah, this is a thing in Japan, not here. I think here, I'm not sure. But anyway, so his brother tried to help him, and he did him pretty good. So that's why he has his otaku stuff, because he decided to introduce him to, the main protagonist decided to introduce his hobbies to his little brother, just to let him off steam. Sorry, my throat. Just to let him off steam, I suppose. That's what I assumed by the first episode. Why? Sorry, my throat. By the first episode, by his room, And then Arfumi, if we go back to the plot, sorry for going a bit of sidetrack there. Sorry for going a sidetrack. So, our main protagonist go to the library. He talks about, before that, he basically says he's not so popular with girls. So it's like, yeah, I am starting to see the patterns right now. But it was interesting nonetheless. So he basically decides to go out in the library out of his whole life, just one particular day, and he decides to read a book. And in that book, it's a legend about four heroes and an impending apocalyptic doom. And when I was trying to read that text in the video itself, it was pretty hard because I can say this. When people in Japan talk of an anime specifically, they talk pretty fast. So I need to pause like every goddamn second to understand what they said there, or even go back sometimes. It gets frustrating. Anyway, though, I enjoyed the little story bit where it was like a legend and an ancient myth. It reminded me a bit of Lord of the Rings. Kinda. Anyway, though, he gets transported to this world, and we have four other guys with him. We have the guy that has the voice actor of Kirito. Actually, I didn't think about that, but I actually heard it from another guy on YouTube, so nice idea. And I have not listened to the Japanese version of Kirito's voice. Not all the time, at least, so nice. And then we get the spear guy and we get the bow guy. I don't remember their names right now, but we have basically red, blue, and green. No, red, blue, and yellow, which is the archer guy. I know their goddamn names, but for the life of me, I cannot remember right now. So we have the boy guy. Sorry, we have the bow guy. We have the shield, which is our main protagonist, and we have the lance, the spear guy, and we have the sword guy. So everyone is summoned, and the people there that are the priests are basically, please help us, and they're like, yep. And they do actually something smart that most isekai don't do. It's that the other characters are like, yeah, this is a game, but they're like, our rights, basically their rights, and they're like saying, hey, compensation, maybe, and they're like, okay, fine. And then they are sent to the throne room, and our main protagonist is basically, he's talking with them as well. I forgot to mention that before they was sent to the throne room. They were basically talking about what they would do in this world, and most of them are like, yay, my RPG and my stuff. And an interesting tidbit, for my opinion, in my case, is that not all of the heroes are douchebags. I like the blue guy, he looks nice. Also, the only one that I don't like is the spear guy. He's a bit of a douche. But we're gonna see that later on, so yeah. Not saying anything. So, what they were talking about was basically, what they will do. Some of them will do adventures, some of them will do this. And our main protagonist is like, yay! Very positive, very happy. Oh, one thing that you should be afraid of when you are in another world, which he actually picks up on, is like, why doesn't no one, think about what happened to the previous heroes? Or, question mark, don't be so positive, because what happens if this world is not like, not like so positive you think? Though to be fair, the guy has read many mangas, I suppose. He will figure it out sooner and later. Hopefully sooner than later. Anyway, though, hope you enjoy my review. Have fun time and enjoy. So our main protagonist talks with them, and they talk that they have from different universes. Interesting tidbit for me. And they talk about World War II, that in their worlds, World War II did happen and kind of didn't happen, maybe. And they talk about their favorite MMOs that I don't remember their names right now, because, yep, for the love of me, I cannot remember. But anyway, they were pretty interesting MMOs, and our main protagonist is basically the one that's grounded in reality, because the other ones are pretty much grounded in their own ideals. And, you know, it's interesting to see the perspective of them because they have nice hair, they have nice ideas. For example, some say that they didn't have a. Yeah, their universes varies from slightly to like odd slightly. Like World War II didn't exist, as I said before, and oh, I forgot to mention this. Naifumi, sorry, my throat again. Hope you enjoyed the video. Anyway, Naifumi basically said that game that the other guy said, it was like a fantasy game, RPG, a pretty cool one, I think. I will check the video again, but I've only seen it twice. But I need to see it a third time because, you know, it was an interesting show, and it's still interesting. And the OP in this show is perfect. Perfect. You're saying the OP and ending? Perfect. Ending song? Perfect. As well. Anyway, so the RPG thing that one of the guys said, the bow guy, I think it was, our main protagonist says that's a novel in his universe, which is our universe. So, kind of interesting. So, slight changes. Pretty interesting, anyway. So, they decide to sleep and decide to enjoy the world, and it's like, And also, Naifumi is kind of young, and he's like, I think one of them is thinking, oh, it was the spear guy. He's basically the ladies' man. He's thinking about too much ladies and not too much focus. And our main protagonist is very naive for the beginning. And then he gets summoned to the throne room, and basically the king talks like, we need help, it's a chaos, it's gonna be chaos in 1 hour, or in one time, sorry. It's gonna be a big bad problem. Monsters raining down from the sky, cracking open, and we have a couple of time, and then you're gonna get summoned, and he basically tells about everything that happens. and like, yeah, you can get help, we can pay you, and he pays them like a lot of money, and he gives helpers to everyone except our main protagonist. And he's like, please, please, please be one, Willy one. He's like, please be one, please, one, one, one. And then he's like, oh shit, I am only left alone. Yay, that's not even fun. And I think the king is a really, really douchebag. But he's a nice looking douchebag at least. Secondly, he has nice clothes. Also, I forgot to mention this. The butler in the episode was an asshole. Yes, the princess is an asshole. A jerk, pretty much. Anyway, the butler was basically like, just think about the stereotypical evil butler and you will find him. Pretty easy. Though I like the other heroes, you know, they're like, yay, we are the awesome, you are legendary. And when they talked about the shield hero, he's like, can I say something? And the king is like, screw you. The talking is almost over, so screw you. He's like, ah. And the shield hero is like, can I please say something about, this whole issue? Like, why are we summoned or why are we here? Like, to be fair, our main protagonist has a little brother, he has a life, he has something to do. I think he has a job. And he's like, why are we summoned here? And the king is like, yeah, for this catastrophe and stuff. And I like when some of the people in the background, some of the people that are giving them money, one of them, a little girl, I think it was a girl, that has a dress or something. She was like nervous like this. Oh my god. She was like, oh my god. Yeah, she was scared or nervous. So I think she has been like, oh my god, I know I need to take care of the shield hero, give the money to shield hero. Basically, from what I realized in this episode and in the second one, everyone hates the shield hero at the get-go. And I want to know more, like, I want to know more what is the lore between, like, why do the kingdom hate the shield hero specifically? Hopefully they bring that up later in the later episodes. Maybe if they do, it's gonna be 26 episodes from what I've heard. Anyway, it's gonna be 26. 26 episodes. So I hope they actually say that. Why? Like, I want to know a perspective from the king. Why the shield hero is this evil, maniacal being that they hate. Pretty much. So anyway, Naifumi doesn't get any light of day to answer anything, and then the king tells about the catastrophe and such, and he even says, "If you die, you're basically screwed. You never come back again." Yay! Sword Art Online 1 vibes. Awesome, but not awesome either. Also, he told about the previous heroes, they died like shit, and I don't know how they died. Please, please, anime, tell me how they died in some form later. Because I want to know. Seriously, I want to know that. Because maybe our main protagonist now, Fumi, and the other boys are gonna avoid that situation. Hopefully. Though to be fair, the other three are pretty arrogant. Anyway, our main protagonist basically, what was it, the king, what did he do more? Yes. He basically, after the parties are decided, one person decides to help him. And who guessed it would be helping? The princess. And the princess helps him, gives him money, gives him a lot of stuff, and helps him be, tells about the rules of the world, that no one should disrespect women, which is a good thing, and a rule against rape accusation. Sorry, my throat again. Against against violation by women, which is a good thing that they actually established the rule of that, but they did it because it's not a, I don't remember the name right now of that, but you know the point. So Nafumi basically talks to her, and he talks to the blacksmith as well. And the blacksmith, he is a smart guy. Secondly, the blacksmith looks like the guy from Cowboy Bebop that likes to cook food for the Cowboy Bebop crew. I forgot his name, but I know his name. But anyway, tell me in the comment section below about that. But he looks exactly like that, and I'm like, yay! Awesome! Nice detail! Also, our main protagonist cannot, for the life of him, grab a sword or anything else. Only goddamn shields. Yay! God, this is gonna bite him in the ass! And it technically literally does. After a time, after he fights some orange monster balls that are trying to bite his face. Though to be fair, to the last laugh, last laugh, is that the other characters have more range. I think the archer guy has the highest range. I think the sword guy has the highest weapon attack and stuff. And the spear guy has the highest spear attacks and spear range. And other movesets, I suppose. But the shield hero has more life and resistance. So basically the shield hero is a combination between healer and a tank. You know, to be fair, I play Dark Souls. I do for the most part a shield combo with bow and a sword. So I understand the value of the shield. I really do. P.S. You need to watch the video of me defeating, with a bit of help, defeating the Abyss Watcher. I was so happy when I did that. That was an accomplishment. Anyway, though, going back to the story. Sorry. Basically, she basically like, yeah, buy me this. And she's like, buy me this. And he's like, he's like, and he's like thinking, oh my god, his other side of him. I think his other side of Hitami, yeah, you know the main protagonist, Shield Hero. I think his good side is like saying, ding 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 ding, this chick is trouble, ding 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 ding. But his chick side, which is this side here, is basically saying, screw that, don't care about it. And he basically, you know, he got his money from the king, and he decides, you know, okay, buy the armor for her, all right. And the smith is like, dude, I need to help him. Is it this? He's like, oh my god, you're a noob. But it's like, also, you know, he's a nice guy, so it's like, okay, I'm giving you this, but I'm also like, you know, she's trouble. She's not good, you know? And he's like, ah, it's fine, it's fine. And our main protagonist decides to have a dinner with her in when she talks about the law, because it's a female rule of kings. It's a female monarchy. Anyway, that's what I wanted to say before. Sorry. I'm a bit tired, so I've been working a lot yesterday and today also, so yeah, I'm pretty tired. Not much, but a bit. Anyway, so basically she talks about it, and I damn assumed, I really was like, oh my god, you're a moron! I was like, I like you, Nafumi, you're very nice, you're very sweet, you're very, like, super good. To be fair, he's basically like the opposite Kasuma from Konosuba. Basically nothing more than that. He's a bit of, you know, a combination between Kasuma and Kirito, the good parts, and the guy from, you know, what was that game? What was that anime again? Ah, ReZero. That guy, the main protagonist from that show. I forgot the name right now, but you know who I mean. So basically, the girl is like, yeah, you know, flirting with him, giving the signals, and basically put something in his drink. And I'm like, this is the oldest cliche in the book. But it will work, it will work. This writer that has done this story is perfect. To be fair, I enjoy this anime, and like, to be fair, one thing I want to comment on that a writer on on a news article said about this anime. He said, "Burn this anime to the ground." He said it, not me. But he also said, like, oh, in reality this happens, and I understand that these false accusations happen, and it's not good. And it's also not good to falsify a man, in our opinion, on something that actually didn't happen. when it happens. Like if it didn't happen and the real criminal is basically out somewhere else, you have basically failed because you have falsified an innocent person. Also, the writer that did this basically took this because it's a good idea if you think about it. If Game of Thrones does this, why not this guy? Like, to be fair, I enjoy that they had this idea because if they didn't, it wouldn't have been interesting. Though to be fair, this is more cash for this anime. They, you know the thing, bad publicity or good publicity. Anyway, they're gonna get cash. So, ha! Anyway, though, we continue with the story. So our main protagonist is like, talking, and then he decides, I'm gonna go up the stairs and take a nap. And she's like, yeah, fine. And she's smiling, and I saw her evil smile like this. Hmm. And he's like, yeah, I'm fine, I'm fine. And he's gonna go up and take a nap, and he talks about, oh, what amazing things we're gonna do tomorrow, and preparations and stuff. P.S. I forgot to mention this. Our main protagonist can absorb things in a shield. Literally absorbs pieces of the balloon monsters. The little cute balloon monsters. And his shield is very versatile. So in the episode as well, I forgot to mention, he can transform his shield to a healing item and into another thing as well, I think. It's a very versatile weapon. Though to be fair, he sleeps the night and he's like, yeah, it's fun. He has his money, he has his beautiful clothes. And then the next morning, everything is gone. Who would have thought? And I'm like, I could see this a mile away, but to be fair, I enjoyed the execution. I enjoyed the execution. I was like, holy shit. And then he decides, try to find it, and then he decides to talk to the guards when the guards come. And we see Naifumi like, holy shit, the guards are coming? And he's like, please, please, I need to talk to the princess, please. And their guards are like, capture him now! And then we go to the scene of the throne room and the controversy scene later, where the king says, I've heard from my daughter, and the spear guy also talks about it. I've heard that you have done the rape exercise and blah blah blah, and yeah. And our boy Naifumi is like, screw you, I've not done that, I'm a good guy, screw you. And basically talks to the girl saying like I didn't do anything. And then one of the soldiers conveniently comes in with a proof, kinda, but kinda not, with a clothes ripped off, and she's basically talking about her side of the story, that she was basically, you know, everything of that. Not easy to explain, but you know my point. But I could see by those flashbacks that she presented that she says her clothes were torn off, and I can say this. Bullshit. It wasn't. Because her clothes that she's talking with now and have on are not torn off in the slightest. And she has armor, which would even be more torn off and destroyed if this would be the case. But it isn't at all. And of course, who finds her in the flashback? The spear guy. Basically, shining knight in armor with spear. Though to be fair, I like his design. I like his voice actor though, as well, to be fair. Also, I like the voice actress that did the princess because she makes me hate the character. Good job! You did a really good job, actress. Keep it up. You did a really good job. Is she gonna be the next King Jeffrey from Game of Thrones? I think so. Because I didn't like her so much. At all. I hated the father even more. And the father actually said something that I said before in this video. I need to talk about the other review, but I will do that in a separate one if I want. Or I can do this both in this one. It's gonna be a longer video, but hope you enjoyed the video. So anyway, every accusation, yada yada. And the father says, because you're a hero, you will not be executed, but you will be exiled. And everyone will look upon you down. And also, he mentions to every goddamn hero in the room, he says, I sent you to this world because I'm a fucking douchebag. And also, if you fight against this, what should we call it? evil dark red wave of green and evil monsters coming up from the sky. He basically told that every other hero died before or something, you know, the thing that I said before. But he said it to all the heroes, and I liked the expression of the other three heroes, like what? And even the Shining Knight hero is like, what the? He's like, no, that's not serious. Are you kidding me? And the king is like, yeah, bitch. Yeah, I told you. And he's like, holy shit. And this king is a douche. Seriously, a douche. Also, I could see it in his eyes and his face expression that he was in on this. So now Fumi has enough of this shit, and he's like saying, he wanted to plea and be nice, and then this cannot be true. This is shit, and they have the spears next to his neck. Jeez. Also, yes, we see someone with a mask and with a hoodie like this, seeing when the main protagonist leaves, and this character is important later on. But interesting character, it's a female. We will know her later, I suppose. And our main protagonist is like, fuck this! And he throws down the shield attack and basically smash, fuck off! And all the authorities are like, restrain him, men! And the king is like, holy shit. But the men are like, oh fuck, we're not getting paid enough for this. And he's like, screw this, I'm leaving, bye. And the spear hero is like, yeah, you should apologize for everything, blah blah blah. And he's like, I trusted you when I needed you the most, and see what has that let me. See what that had let me then. Sorry, my throat. Anyway, I will rewatch episode 1 and episode 2 later to get more details if I missed some. And also, he mentioned that also the king basically took them from their lives because he's like, I can do what I want. Also, our main protagonist was very, very grounded in reality here. And he was like, bring me fucking back home. I don't want to be here. Like, I like this world, but you're douchebags. Can I go home to my brother? Can I go home to my mother, my father, maybe? He didn't say that, but that's what I think he said in his head. And in my head as well, so. And the king is like, no, bitch! You're gonna do this quest and you're gonna end the monsters and do our mission for us. Because we are fucking lazy. Sorry my words, but the king is a lazy bastard. Just saying. And we see the famous scene where the princess does this. She's like, eh! And I'm like, you didn't. And the hero is like, I had faith in you, I cared about her, he's like, then everything breaks, and he's like, fuck, he's basically like, holy shit, she did everything. Though to be fair, I saw this a mile away, as I said before. And we go back. He's basically like, going, and then he's like, he has a bit of money of them, and he's like, take your stinking money. And the shield guy is like, what the fuck did you do? Apologize to that. And as I said before, the shield guy is like, where were you when I needed you, huh? And he's like, yeah, but the shield guy is like, it's enough. Screw you all. He basically said a lot of awesome words that you should see in the episode yourself. But he's like, this is enough. And he's like, woof. I think he would basically, in my opinion, I think he would basically destroy every goddamn guard that came next to him. He was like, move out of my way, guard. Out of my way. And he basically left. Yes, he had trained before, he had practiced with her, he had an interesting bond with the princess, but the princess was a douchebag. Basically, King Joffrey from Game of Thrones 2.3 douchebag. Though to be fair, our main protagonist learned a lot of tricks like the leaf here, like the leaf shield and a lot of stuff, and he learned to level up and some. I forgot those RPG elements, but he leveled up. And P.S. I forgot to mention this. It's a long review, but we're gonna do the second part in this review as well, so hope you enjoy. So anyway, we learned that our main protagonists, which are the spear guy and the sword guy and our main protagonist, the shield guy as well, and the spear guy. I think the game system that is in this world adapts to their favorite games, which it did, because I saw in the video on the anime itself that they have their different favorite. Sorry, my throat. That they have their different favorite anime RPG menus for themselves. That was an interesting, neat little detail there. Anyway, so basically he leaves town. He's like, screw you, and he goes to town, and he gets cornered by the blacksmith. And the blacksmith is like, did you really do what everyone is saying? And he's like, dude, seriously, I didn't do shit. And the blacksmith believes him because his eyes. And also, like, seriously, like, the blacksmith was like, yeah, the blacksmith, 10 out of 10. Yay, very good support character. Secondly, I want him to be in his party. Eventually, I hope. But anyway, the blacksmith guy that is from Cowboy Bebop, or basically Cowboy Bebop's chef, maybe his chef's ancestor, we will call it that. The Cowboy Bebop chef from the ancestor guy. He basically gives him clothes. He is like, you know what, okay, alright. So he gives him clothes and stuff. He gives him the green, beautiful cape that I have here. Kinda. Kinda similar to that. And then our main protagonist, Naifumi, decides to go to, I think, a bar or a shop. And he decides to, eat a meal or something and take a nap. And then some three idiot thugs. Thug, what should we call them? Bill and Bull and Mons. Bill and Bull and Mons, basically. They come in there and they're like, yeah, dude, we have heard about you. You're the rapist accusations. And our main protagonist is like, he basically gets flashbacks to the moments he got basically betrayed by the dinner scene and everything else, by the king's court, when he was in that room and the king is like, I will banish you! Yeah, that. He remembers that and he's like, he's gonna get out. He's like, screw this, I'm not talking to you, and he's going out. And the other guys are like, yeah, actually, I forgot to mention this. These three bandits, these three Bill and Bull and Mons, they're like proposing to him to overthrow the king, or they have their own group, we should say. I hope they show up sometime, maybe. But anyway, they basically like, yeah, try to screw with our main protagonist. But of course, shields block everything. Magic shield. Also forgot to mention, he has a magic rune on the shield. Pretty cool magic rune, green. I wonder if the shield has a mind of its own. Maybe it has. Anyway, he basically dispatches them pretty badassly, and he basically does pretty badass talking, and he's like, don't mess with me, guys. I am not in the mood. And he basically beats the shit out of them, and they run away like cowards. And then we meet Dr. Eggman, kinda. Evil slave trader. Yay, we are in that situation. Though to be fair, I kinda don't justify slavery, but I don't justify either our main protagonist being shunned by everything, so he doesn't have so much options if he wants to survive, because in 1 year's time, this little evil monster wave will come, and he's pretty low level right now. So he's like, yeah, I need a companion, alright. And the slave trader's like, yeah, join with me and, go to my shop, and he's like, no, I don't wanna. And then he's like, okay, I do it. So he checks all the cages and stuff. Pretty interesting creature designs. Must say this. I hope they return back to the slave owner again. Maybe. So our main protagonist decides to check one of the cages, and we see a little cute girl that is Raccoon Girl. That is the main protagonist slash love interest there. So the episode ends there, and yeah. But they also talk about different species. They talk about, damn it, I cannot remember the word, but I will watch the episode and then write down the word in this video on my comment section down so you can see it. But it's basically half human, half raccoon, different creatures. And I forgot to mention that in this part of the world of this anime, of Shield Heroes universe, they basically treat not humans, which is half, raccoon people or anything like that, which is not good in my opinion. Not good at all. I don't stand slavery, and I don't do it. But I understand from the desperation of the main protagonist to get one. Because he needs to level up, goddammit. And he needs to survive if he wants to make some money or do something else. Secondly, he's a very good. What I like about this character is, I forgot to mention. Anyway, he's a combination between Kirito, the guy from that anime. What was it again? Oh, from the other isekai anime. Yeah, you know which one I'm talking about. So he's a combination between those and the Log Horizon main protagonist. Yay! I like that they put in some Spice and Wolf references, or even Spice and Wolf, the economics of Spice and Wolves. Sorry, my throat, I need to drink. There we go. Anyway, Spice and Wolf. So, yeah. So what happens was that he basically talks to an owner before the slavery and stuff, and says how much is this valued, and he's like, yeah, all right. And he like, I choose the healing herbs because you said that the healing herbs are better, and that's good. So I will say this: props to put in something that I really like, which is Spice and Wolf. Spice and Wolf economics. Anyway, so the episode ends with our main protagonist trying to decide which slave he's gonna get, if it's a werewolf man or not. So now we begin with episode 2. Episode 2 begins where we last left off. So the slave owner is like talking, I know which method we need to do to bond the slave to you if you want. And he's like, you know what? I would just want to buy a slave. And he's like, buy this one, the werewolf man. And he's like, how much is he worth? A lot of gold and a lot of silver. And our main protagonist is like, are you trying to scam me? Are you? And he's thinking, nope. I'm going for the raccoon girl here. And he decided to do it. P.S. This main protagonist has an honest heart. He has it. Because, he has a little brother, so I think he has it. Anyway, though, hope you enjoyed the video. This is the second episode of this review. Anyway, so he decides to buy her, and basically they put in the seal. And I like the method they did it, because it's like, you need to cut the blood of the main protagonist like this, and put it in. And it's like an ink, and it's like a heart-shaped form with the sun. Pretty creativity. Sorry, my throat again. Anyway, it's pretty creative how the seal is put on. And the girl, doesn't want to do much, but then the main protagonist is like, you need to do this. And the slave owner is like telling, if you do this, there's going to be an electric shock coming out, which is not good, but I understand. He needs to have an effective partner. If he doesn't, he's going to get over. So he basically trains her and stuff. And after that, the slave owner is like, yeah, do you want to buy? And he bought it, and he's like, yeah, have a good time. And he's like, yeah, I do. And he drags her. But this is a rouge. Or this is a, what should we say? This is a mask, because our main protagonist, because he was kind, he has put a mask on. He's like, put it like this. And he's like, if everyone treats me like a douchebag, and everyone thinks I'm an asshole, then they will see an asshole. Pretty much. So what he decides to do is basically go to a shop owner before that, or after that he took the chick, and he decides, the shop owner is like doing to another guy, giving like, oh, here you get 1 coin for this little cloth of Monster Ball or whatever. And our main protagonist decides to go in there with 20, and the other guy's like, yeah, I will give you 1 for each. And he's like, do you now, huh? And then he shows his cape like this, And he has hundreds of those monsters in there. And he's like, "Do you want to mess with me, buddy?" And he's like, "No, sir, but you know, I have my business." But he's like, "Oh, do you want to have a business with my monster?" And then it puts him in there like, "Get this, pay me the right money, god damn it!" And he's like, all right, fine. I don't want to be shoot up." So he's like, "Okay, I give you 20, 50 of those pieces." He gives him a lot of money. So our main protagonist decides as well. I forgot to mention this. He decides to give the nice and kind blacksmith the money, and he gave it. So he's like, "Yay, thanks, buddy." He gave him because he helped them when everyone else didn't help him for shit. So sorry for my word, but you know the point. So anyway, he trains our main protagonist. I forgot to mention the name of the love interest, Raftalia. Raftalia, the raccoon girl, basically. So he basically talks about her, or before he said, "What was your name?" And she said it, and he's like, "Yeah." So he decided, give her a meal, give her food, and he gave her very nice food, like better than his. He didn't get almost anything. He like a piece of steak, a piece of bread, I suppose, and water for him. And he basically like, "Yeah, come in, Raftali, we need to go and eat." And he basically trained her. Oh, I forgot to mention that he trained her in the blacksmith shop by basically, doing the same trick that he did on the shopkeeper, except one, and he holded it so she would do it. And she did it after he needed to, you know, do the. It's a slave collar magic spell thing. So she did it, and yay, they both leveled up at least. He has a pretty harsh words in the show, but his actions speak louder than words, to be fair. He gave her food, he cut her hair, he was nice, he even did this. Aww. Give a little hug in the head. And he's like, oh, giving hug, giving her food, and he even gives her food, and she almost chokes on the food. And she's like, drinking, drinking. And she's like eating, and he's like, okay. A bit of table manners, I suppose, but in my opinion, I think this show is good, and it's awesome. 10 out of 10 in my question. No questions asked. For now. But our main protagonist is like, eat a bit slower, but is like, oh, cute. So cute. And I'm like, so cute. And it's cute. And he actually talks with her, she wasn't fed. She talked about she had two owners that were douchebags. Only fed her once a month, I think. I'm not sure. So he gives her very expensive kids meal, like a whole buffet compared to his food. And everyone else in the bar is talking like, "Oh, it's that shield hero, that evil asshole." Oh. And the shield hero is like, when they're gonna rent a room later on in the episode, in this episode, episode 2, he's like, "You wanna mess with me, buddy? I have monsters in here, so don't fucking screw with me." And he's like, "Yes, sir, of course, of course, of course, sir, of course." And he gets a room and he sees her sleep. Oh, that's so cute. And he thinks about his own world. I think he thinks about it. Not now though, but maybe he thinks about it. I hope he thinks about his brother. Maybe he does. I wanna bring a point that they need to bring a point about his brother as well. Maybe some flashback or something. Because I wanna see his brother. Looked interesting. Anyway though, Raftalia basically gets a princess treatment by this guy. Seriously. So I love this guy for this. He's like, I don't take shit. And if someone is kind to me, I will be very kind back. So that's very good. So we basically see them pass by a shop where the girl wants to buy a little, what was it again? Oh, a little ball made out of those poor, unfortunate orange monsters. Yikes. That sucks. He has those monsters stick on him because he has hundreds of EPS, hundreds of resistance, or a lot of resistance, and a lot of. I can say this. I'm playing as a knight with a shield. He is just going good with it. And then we see A very sad sight. Slave owner treating assholes, treating treating assholish his slaves, pretty jerkish, and they were two demi-humans. And basically, our main protagonist is very, very kind and sensitive. So he's like, nope, we don't go there. And then they went into the food place. But also it says, no demi-humans allowed. And I'm like, holy shit, this went pretty dark. But it's gonna go darker than this. So he basically buys her ball when he sees, or when she sees that she sees two kids playing with a little ball. And she's like, please buy me one. And he's like, no, they're discussing she wants to buy a ball, and he's like, no, no, if you train well, of course. P.S. She trained well, and she bought it, or he bought it, after they killed three monsters, and she's badass. She's like, slash! And I forgot to mention the blacksmith also, helped them using a sword. P.S. He gave her goddamn clothes that are even more expensive than this cape. I think. It's more expensive than this cape, anyway. So, yeah, treating her like a princess in a good way. Slash, he hates the princess that screwed her over, or screwed him over. I mean. So anyway, the blacksmith talks about that situation. He's like, "Don't remind me," which I understand. And then they kill their first beast, which was a rabbit bunny. And the main protagonist is like talking, "I cannot protect you if you don't, goddamn it, do what I need to do." And she finally does. She gets the courage to do it. And he's like, good job, very good job, man. Also, in this episode, we realize what powers the shield uses. And he summons Protect Shield. And pretty cool stuff. And the little girl is like, Master, we should do something else. And he's like, damn it, I'm doing my job here. I'm trying to learn my technique so I don't fail. Basically. I don't remember everything that he said in Japanese in text. But if you want to know more, read it in the, or watch the episode. I will watch the episode again. And during the night, or what was it again? Oh yeah, he bought her that ball, and she liked it. She was wagging her tail. Hope you enjoyed the review. Have a fun time and enjoy. Captain Muffet talking about the Shield Hero, episode 1 and 2. A bit long, but you know. Anyway, oh, I forgot to mention. In episode 1, the other two heroes, the archer and the sword guy, were like, "You're disgusting," and I'm like, seriously, sorry, my throat. Seriously, you little archer boy and sword boy, Kirito, which was actually Kirito, so it kind of fit. It kind of fits. It kind of fits anyway. So anyway, our main protagonist basically trains her a bit, and then she gets nightmares of what happened to her in the past, which I will not tell right now. But it's about the former monster wave and what had it inside there. Also, she talked about, yeah, I forgot to mention this. She talked about that in her culture, which was the monsters or the demi-humans, the shield hero is a very nice icon. Basically, an underdog for the monsters, a savior, a warrior. And she basically remembered her parents talking about him and like, can I meet the shield hero once? So she has aspirations, maybe a bit of love, who knows? And her parents are like, yeah, he's nice, he's good. And I think the shield hero has done more job than anyone else of those other heroes because they're arrogant bastards, I think. Though, tell me in the comment section below that one. So anyway, basically talks about what her admirations about the shield hero, and our main protagonist says that his name is Naofumi to the girl, and she's like, yeah, basically saying his name. Pretty cute, and I love her. She's good. She's cute. Basically, waifu of 2019, in my opinion. And our main protagonist needs to give her a bit of medicine before she slept and had that nightmare. And she was like, and he's like, damn it, get the fucking that medicine in the mouth again. And he's like, oh my god, I paid expensive for that. I made that expensive. Oh god! It's basically like a lot of time and a lot of work. But anyway, then he's basically looking at her when she slept pretty nice. He was like, He was like, oh, such cute. And it was like, it's sad that that a cute creature and a little girl like her needs to go through a lot of awful shit that I've heard. You know, from what he have seen and from what she has told him, I think a bit. And then she gets a nightmare and wakes up and screams, "Mom, Dad, Mom and Dad!" And he's like, "I'm here, I'm here, I'm here." Hugging her. That was a very nice, touchy, a very nice. How do you say that? A very nice emotional moment. I liked it. 10 out of 10, no questions asked. Anyway, I like that moment. Pretty good. And he's like, "I will protect you. I will never leave you." Or, don't be afraid, I'm here. And then next day, they decide to go to a little town with a mining place. And he talks about with the merchant what has happened here. And he says it's monsters and stuff. And he thinks that it's the giant catastrophe thing that's gonna come. But it's not. It's because local monsters screw up everything. So I'm thinking, if I was one of the villagers in that town, I was thinking, why the hell am I staying here? Not a good idea, actually. But whatever. So our main protagonist basically goes with her to the mines to get some new materials so he can use it for his shield. And basically, our main protagonist became slash a merchant, slash a badass, slash basically Spice and Wolf here. No questions asked. So to be fair, I've watched all the seasons of Spice and Wolf, season 1 and season 3 and season 2, I think. All in English and in Spanish. I'm dedicated. Anyway, they go into the cave and basically try to find the orb or trying to find the MacGuffin in this episode. And they do. P.S. The Raftalia has PTSD. Oh my god. No poor creature or girl should go through that shit. No one should go through that shit. No, no, no. She's very cute, but she should not go through that mental shit. Anyway, our main protagonist finds the object that he needs, and he says, Tyler, come help me here. And she's like shocked and screams because she sees a monster dog. The same dog, spoiler warning, spoiler warning, the same dog that killed her parents. Pretty brutally. But I will commend the parents for one good thing. They decided, the father's like, he's not an asshole, or the mother. They were like, our daughter needs to be saved. So she's like, sorry, daughter, we need to kick you. Bye. And it's like, we love you. We love you really much. We really do love you. But you need to be safe. If our generation and our bloodline is going to live, you need to live. So they're basically doing. I think they basically did like the Spartans did. They basically kicked her off and like, woo! And she's like screaming, no! That was her dream sequence, basically screaming like, no! And her parents were pretty much screwed. So she's basically getting flashback to this and cannot do anything of this. So our main protagonist decides to fight it, and fight it's pretty badass. And he's like taking Raftalion, running like he runs like a marathon guy. He runs like super fast, like shoof, and he like woo, jump off, and he falls down to the to the cave river. Sorry there. He falls down to the cave river. Anyway, he falls down to the water, and he decides to take out his little weapon, the rope shield. And they do a little cutout between those parts of the episode because there were one thing that they missed that they should have added, but they missed. I watched a bit of the manga on the internet, I think it is, and they missed a detail of the pickaxe something something. I'm not gonna say anything of that. But anyway, pretty badass scene, exactly from the manga, pretty cool. And the monster dog is like, where are you, buddy? I'm gonna end you. Hashtag, he looks like Scooby-Doo if he was evil. Yikes. Soinks! Soinks! Like Shaggy would say. Anyway, they get their asses up, and he's like, I need to protect you, damn it. No one will ever protect you if I don't do it. You need to come up and face your fears. You know, he's not an asshole, but he's like, I'm getting my shoulder beaten off here. And he's like, the monster dog is like, rawr, rawr, rawr. And he's like, holy shit, I'm bleeding shit. Sorry, my froze, but I shouldn't have said that. But he's like, oh my god, I'm bleeding. And she's like, scared as shit, I understand. And then we see a little ghost montage of her parents saying goodbye. And our main protagonist hero says, bye bye. And she's like, snapping, like, no, not this time. She's basically like, she doesn't want to be alone anymore. So, kudos for this. Kudos. Badass female. Badass female that needed to do it. Also, our main protagonist, Naofumi, shocked her once. Pretty hard this time, really hard, like, that was not good. But, to be fair, if I had a goddamn Cerberus, which is a two-headed dog, or is a three-headed dog, but this would be, you know, the second form, biting on my shoulder for 22 hours, I would be doing the same. And he did it with a rope shield, of all things. And she succeeds, she stabs him in the neck, and the monster's like, ah! And she really badass jumped, like, to be fair, pretty awesome action scenes, no questions asked. 10 out of 10 in this question. Both episodes, 10 out of 10. The little negative part will be that it was not a good idea they shocked her, but to be fair, if you want to survive in a harsh world, you need to do a harsh thing. Though to be fair, he has treated her like a princess, or, you know, he has given her everything. Seriously. And he basically does protection shield, protect shield. She's like protected, and the monster like ah tries to jump, and then she stabs him like a crazy anime girl with the eyes. I mean, so to be fair, it's justified, and she finally overcomes her problem. So to be fair, in my opinion, they could have stretched it out a bit more to next episode, but it doesn't care. I think it was good, and if I think about it, they needed to fix that first, because then we would have had a lot of problems later on, so yes. They kill the beast, and I think our main protagonist, now Fumi, absorbs the beast inside of the shield. I think. I didn't see him do that in the anime specifically, but I think he did, because he did it with the little monster balls and the plants and anything else that he touched, grabbing or putting in there in his shield, in his little, what is it called again? Oh, in his little diamond ball thing that you have in the shield. I cannot show it because I don't have a shield, but you get my point. In the round little thing that absorbs. And it's actually interesting thing that basically that thing is like an infinite storage unit that learns and analyzes. A bit of a cue from reincarnated as a slime. Yay! Yes, good. And now Fumi says, you know, I'm sorry if I did something, and like, you know, he's happy that she's alive. And she's like, oh, P.S. He also said run. And she didn't run. Yay! Awesome. But he said run or you will die. Like, to be fair, I understand him because he doesn't want to have his conscience on that she is also dead because of him. So, yeah. Very good job now, Fumi. You're the hero that we need, but that the world don't want, unfortunately. The world he is in. So it's basically like a Goblin Slayer situation. Kinda, but not much. Anyway, so our main protagonist hugs her and she says, don't leave me anymore." And we have a touching moment with a lot of touchy talk. You know, a cute moment. Sorry for saying that wrong, but you know the point. A cute moment, a cute, lovely moment where she's saying, "Don't leave me anyway. Don't leave me. Never leave me." And he's like, "I will never do that." And that's so cute. He hugs her. He pets her on the head, and they cry, and then they leave the cave, I suppose. And the episode ends after they have their nice moment. Their feel good moment after a very horrific PTS scene for her. And then we have the text music, the end credit music. Pretty good, 10 out of 10, no questions asked. Pretty good music. I've listened to it actually 3 or 4 times today and yesterday. So, both music. Yay. Yes, the intro music spoils a lot of things. So skip it. Anyway, my recommendations is perfect. Except the little nitpicks with the slave method and yeah, and some of the harsh words that he said, but his actions mean more than his words, so to speak. So we see you next time. Goodbye. Captain Alfred doing review of both shows or both episodes of Shield Hero today. It was not the best explanation I did, but I'm a bit tired, so you win, you lose. But anyway, we see you next time. Goodbye. Captain Alfred signing out.